dear viewers, good to see you and welcome to a new episode of The Culture of Flavors.
Ramadan edition.
I'm your host, Dr. Mohammad Al-Qattan.
And I'm your co-host, Eman Marafie.
Dear viewers, hopefully that you are still enjoying the holy month of Ramadan, and it's really good atmosphere, right?
Yes, it is.
Yes.
And now it's like it has a good vibe that people are contributing in charity work.
This is a really good suggestion or advice to our dear viewers, Iman, that they could contribute or they could increase their charity work, especially in the holy month of Ramadan.
Exactly.
This is the best opportunity. Could Iman give us to, and as well to our dear viewers, some examples?
Like last year, well, what I saw is that people went out for needy people, like long areas or like faraway areas, and then they saw what they needed of money,
they give them food or any supplement they need.
Yes.
Which is really interesting, and this is why we really
also the workers, the one who clean the streets for us,
distributing some meals for them, especially at the iftar time.
Yeah.
So Iman, which country we will be talking about today?
Today's episode is very unique and special because I like this country a lot. It's the Syrian Arab Republic, and it has a long way of back of history. Yes, and I've been there too, like maybe around 4 times or something like that.
Unfortunately,
so I like it.
I have not been there.
Oh.
So we're going to see our esteemed guest today talking about the Syrian Arabic Republic during the holy month of Ramadan.
Yes, and what I like about Syria is that they have special traditions that they do during the holy month of Ramadan.
Okay.
So we will get to know more with her.
Perfect. So dear viewers, let's have a break and we're going to continue. So please don't go away.
Syria is a traditional society with a long cultural history. A country of fertile plains, high mountains, and deserts, Syria is a diverse land consisting of Arabs, Kurds, Assyrians, Circassians, Armenians, and many more groups that helped shape the overall of the Syrian society. Importance is placed on family, religion, education, self-discipline, and respect to one another and the elderly. Ramadan is a time of great joy and anticipation for Muslim families. Families gather together to share traditional Syrian food throughout Ramadan. They break their fast with iftar consisting of soup, lots of different salads, bread, different meat dishes, fruit, and traditional desserts. People spend hours in the markets buying groceries for the whole month of Ramadan. With nutritious iftar meals shared between friends, relatives, and neighbors, no one ever feels alone during Ramadan. Across Syrian cities, mosques hold huge iftar meals and become sites of constant worship and Islamic chanting and reciting Quran. Even non-Muslims would stop to listen and feel enchanted by the atmosphere. The holy month of Ramadan is a time when social solidarity and charitable giving would transcend class and differences. Neighbors, friends, relatives, and complete strangers would show great care towards one another, offering food, drinks, and other gifts.
And we're back, dear viewers, after this report. So today we have a very special guest. Her name is Mrs. Eman Marafie. She's from Syria, from the place or the country that I really love. Welcome.
Thank you so much.
We're so glad to have you, Iman, today with us, talking about Syria, especially during the holy month of Ramadan.
Yes, but before that, can you please introduce yourself to the viewers?
To start with, thank you so much for hosting me in this very special show during the special month of Ramadan. Ramadan Mubarak to you and to the dear viewers watching us tonight. As you mentioned, my name is Eman Marafie. Originally from Syria, from an area called Yabrud, which is on the suburbs of Damascus. Born and raised in Kuwait. I lived my whole life in this beautiful country, received my education in Kuwait University, and I've been working for the past 7 years as a humanitarian worker.
That's great.
With the United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees.
Perfect. So Eman, we would like to know, are there any specific preparation for the holy month of Ramadan in Syria?
Absolutely. It's a special month. So it requires additionally special preparations from our side. I still remember from the early memories I have from my childhood, the closer we get to Ramadan, the more crowded the streets are. People are rushing to prepare for this special month, bringing the yummy desserts, where the sweet shops always get very creative with preparing the Ramadan specific dessert, like ma'rouk, na'am, in addition to the other famous desserts that we all know.
So what are the ones that you just mentioned? What are the one that you just mentioned?
The ma'rouk and na'am.
And what are the?
The ma'rouk is a rounded piece of bread, which is also usually stuffed with dates, coconut, cheese, based on the preference of
Nice.
of the the people who are buying it.
Okay. Sounds delicious.
Yes.
Very, very delicious. Na'am is like a very thin slice of bread. It's a crispy slice of thin bread. And on top of it, people add grape molasses or grape syrup.
Perfect.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
I haven't tasted that before because I've been to Syria before.
We should definitely take you on a tour.
I hope.
Or probably my colleague Eman could prepare for us something like that.
Someday, why not?
Yeah, it's a good idea.
Make sure to invite.
Yeah, absolutely.
Help me with that.
Would love to. Would love to. So back to the special preparations. People prepare the type of food that would take so much time. So you would see ladies rushing to make kibbeh, and they store it and freeze it. In addition to that, you start seeing the special Ramadan decorations in the streets with the lights, lanterns, and the special patterns where you see for example, in the kitchen, we change the table mats to reflect the Ramadan patterns. We like to give it a touch, and you get to feel that the whole atmosphere in Ramadan changes with it.
So you just mentioned the decoration, the streets. So does people do that, or the government do that, or children do that? Who
I think it's a collective effort.
Okay.
Definitely the government participates in lighting the streets, but also you see the balconies of the buildings. And as I mentioned, inside our homes too. So you would see we change the table mats. You would see the lanterns around the house.
So there is something special coming.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
All right.
Absolutely.
And I think that the children are happier than the adults, right?
Yes. I still remember that from my childhood. We get super happy seeing the changes in the decorations, also preparing special outfits. You would see the little kids, for the guys, they're wearing like the sharwal, the very wide pants, and the girls would prepare their abayas or special dresses for Ramadan.
That's nice. And do you have like a special day, which is like us, we have Girgian?
No. That's something very special about the Kuwaiti culture.
Okay.
In Syria, we don't have something similar.
So what about during the holy month of Ramadan?
Yes.
What people usually do?
Of course, the holy month of Ramadan is well known for its family gatherings.
Correct.
It brings people together. It's all about people gathering around a very special yummy meal. Sharing happy moments, and that's where people make sure that they are also visiting the whole family, the extended side of the family. What's special during Ramadan also is that people get I mean, it's throughout the whole year, but people get more spiritual during this month. So you see people rushing to do good.
Yes. Spending their time in the mosque.
Absolutely, utilizing this month of Ramadan to be closer to God, spending it in the mosques, visiting the family members, doing good in general, and definitely the ladies will remember this month for being mostly in the kitchen.
Exactly.
But I think what makes Ramadan special also is, for me personally, I think it's definitely the gathering where people all come together.
Yeah, especially people like you haven't seen for a long time. Exactly. So you enjoy seeing them.
Absolutely.
It's the best opportunity in the holy month of Ramadan or during the whole of Ramadan that we get together, socialize. But there is a tiny thing that when we get together, that we tend to eat more. So
especially for being hungry for so long.
I know. So Eman, probably in every episode, she's going to do a dish for us. So talking about food, what are the most famous cuisine that people make during the holy month of Ramadan?
Personally, for me, I think the Syrian cuisine is the yummiest and
it's very broad.
Exactly. It has a variety of options, and not because I'm Syrian, but definitely I'm leaning more towards my culture. It's a very unique cuisine. Because it has a wide variety of different dishes. So you can, for vegetarian people, can find a wide range of dishes to try from, and you can also find dishes that will suit the preference of most of the people. We have dishes that are made with yogurt. We call them the white dishes. So in our culture, some people say that we like to start the month of Ramadan with the white dishes, and we end it also with the white dishes. So dishes made with yogurt. We also, of course, have dishes made with tomato sauce. So it's a huge variety of cuisine. There are also the healthy options and the quite non-healthy options. We use lots of ghee, oil, and
like here. So
actually, ghee is not like a serious thing, you know, but the oil
kind of fat. We can definitely use this as an excuse.
But from like area to area, like the dishes changes. Even the names and the things.
Absolutely. Even the traditions could be different. What's special about Syria is that it encompasses a wide variety of cultures, because the people in Syria are also very diverse. You can see the people who are going more towards, different borders of different countries. So it's also a country that hosts a wide variety of cultures within it.
Yeah.
Very interesting. Could you name a few dishes for us? I would like to know, and describe a few of them that is really common in the holy month of Ramadan in Syria.
Absolutely, my pleasure.
Let's start from the beginning of Futur. Before the Futur, actually. Like
before the Futur.
When the people they prepare the drinks.
Okay, for the drinks, actually, because it's a month where we are mostly thirsty. We've been fasting for so long. So for the Syrian cuisine, we made sure that we have a wide variety of juices. So we have the tamarind, the jalab juice, the licorice juice. We also have the apricot. The damascene berries, which is quite a sour yet sweet kind of juice. And we also have the kerkade. It's a wide variety of...
This is only specific for the holy month of Ramadan, or you could find them during the year?
You can find them, of course, available during the year, but they get mostly common during the month of Ramadan, and you see people rushing to buy these juices. So usually a man would be passing around, for example, in my small town, a man would be passing around before Ramadan and knocking, and then people would hear the sound of, he would be knocking on the
drum,
like a drum or a steel, and people will go out to buy the juices from the man.
Okay. And you have a specific name for this man, right?
I believe so. We have a specific name for another man.
Yeah. Which is the one who wakes you up before the sahur.
The Abu Table or Msaharati.
Yes.
And we'll be talking more about this special tradition in Syria. So this is usually common before Futur, where people go and buy the juices and prepare them. And usually for the meal, we always make sure that we also have some sort of salad. Fattoush, tabbouleh. because we need to break our fast with, maintain our portion of vegetables.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah.
So talking about
Speaking about salad.
Yeah. So Iman, probably you have a salad for us.
Yes.
Can you name it before we go on a break?
Yeah, okay. So today's salad is the pesto salad with macaroni and beans. So we will mention the ingredients after we come back from the break. Stay tuned.
And we're back, dear viewers, talking about the holy month of Ramadan in Syria with our esteemed guest, Eman Al-Ainawi. So we'll have a lovely conversation with you. But before we go deep into that, let's see Eman what she's going to have for us.
Well, today's salad is really simple, but it's really delicious.
Okay.
So we have a cooked macaroni, we have pomegranate, we have kidney beans, we have also corn, and we have white beans. Then we have two kinds of cherry tomatoes to your likings, and then we have the Kalamata olives. This is for the salad to mix. And then for the sauce, and then before the sauce, actually I forgot to mention, we have one green apple. You cut them into thin slices, you mix them in, and then for the sauce, we're going to have a Kalamata paste, and then pesto paste, then with salt, lemon, Dijon mustard, and olive oil. And that's it.
Looks really delicious, a lot of colorful.
Very delicious.
Right?
And it has lots of beans. And in Syria, we are known for loving the beans, and we have a huge variety of beans too.
I love beans too.
Very interesting. So talking about food, I just tell you that if you could probably mention a few famous dishes that you make in Syria that could be really familiar, that you could educate us as well as educate our dear viewers.
My pleasure, because we all know that's the best part. And that's where you get people really talk a lot with each other.
Correct.
So before going to the break, we mentioned that the Syrian cuisine has a wide variety of dishes. Personally, I'm going to be naming most of my favorite dishes.
Okay.
I love...
So your favorite, that's the most common ones.
Of course, the most common ones too, but starting with my favorite ones,
Please
because
go
of course I remember them with closed eyes. So we mentioned the white dishes, and the most famous and the most yummy white dishes are shakriya.
Okay.
We have shish barak.
Okay, let's take it one by one.
One by one. For the shakriya, it's basically it consists of kibbe, the kibba with the yogurt sauce. Also, we have with it pieces of meat.
Okay.
And then it's served next to rice.
Okay.
So that's the shakriya. For the shish barak, it's also white sauce with yogurt.
Okay.
But then we have within the yogurt, we have like the shish barak, which is a dough stuffed with the minced meat and with onion and the spices.
All right.
Then if you add both dishes together, you have a dish called basha wa asakro.
Oh.
Only Syrians will be able to relate to this dish now.
But it's combination right now.
Yes, so you will have a combination, the kibbe and the shish barak put together, and then you have
maybe if you have like leftovers, they could
exactly.
you put them together.
That's a trick that mothers usually do.
Okay.
So we recycle and reinvent the dish.
Okay.
Also, of course, you know the mahashi, stuffed zucchini, eggplants,
yalanji.
Of course, yalanji. And we have two varieties of yalanji.
Yeah.
The cold one, which is served as an appetizer, the wara anab yalanji, very famous in Kuwait. But then we also have yabra, which is the hot version of it, and it's cooked with meat.
Yes.
And it has also minced meat in the stuffing.
I love that too.
It's very yummy.
Yes.
I'm being fair, but it's very yummy.
The size of your kubba is very big.
There is, okay, so it's different from one area in Syria to the other. For example, in Damascus, the smaller and the thinner the kubba is, it's an indication of how smart and how good the housewife is.
Oh, okay.
In other areas of Syria, you have a huge, massive kubba. And it's also a reflection. It also shows their part of the tradition.
Maybe a generosity or something like that.
Absolutely. And then it saves your meal. You have only one kubba and you're set for the lunch.
So what about sweets?
That's the most part that we try to avoid thinking about, but it's
my best part.
Absolutely. It's
Everyone's best part.
Correct.
Everyone thinks in Ramadan, so what's for sweets today? It's as important as the main dish.
Correct.
And it's part of our, we break our fast and then we immediately head towards the sweets. Unlike you in Kuwait, you take a break. For sweets, Syria for me is the land of yummy sweets. Also a huge variety of sweets. As I mentioned earlier, we have some sweets that are very specific to Ramadan, like na'am, mafrouk. We introduce lots of dates in our sweets. You see coconut, but also you see the baklawa, the knafa. We also have something called halawat jibn, which is mostly famous in Homs, an area called Homs, or Hama, but also all across Syria, we all know halawat jibn and we love it. So that's mostly for the sweets. And of course, the mothers and the ladies get more creative in making their own versions. So you see kunafa, but with different, not with cheese, not with the ashta, but they try, not with the cream, they try to make new stuffing for the kunafa.
Really?
Yeah.
Chocolate, Nutella.
Oh, this is good.
Of course, creative ladies.
Creative.
Absolutely.
This is very
So
interesting.
regarding the rituals that for iftar, do you eat dates and then go to pray, or you eat the whole meal and then you go to pray?
I think this is one of the areas where we're quite different when it comes to comparison between the Syrian culture and the Kuwaiti culture. For Syria, definitely we prefer to start with dates because it's a sunnah.
Correct.
Yes.
We break the fast. We have some dates with water. Now, people prefer to go pray before they get super heavy after eating the food.
Correct.
But we do it immediately. We don't have a long break. Unlike the culture in Kuwait, for you prefer to just break the fast with light foods, maybe a bit of soup.
Correct.
And then you take 1 or 2 hours, you finish, and then you have the ghabqa.
Correct. Yeah.
What I heard is that in Syria, they don't pray the Maghrib in the mosque because they have they eat directly.
Absolutely.
For us here in Kuwait, it's different. They go pray, they eat the dates, but they pray and then they come back to the house to complete their iftar.
Absolutely, that's one of the main areas where it's quite different. For Syria, you're right. From what I remember, we used to pray Maghrib in our house and then break our fast immediately. We don't have a long break.
So out of curiosity, do people still having the same habits, the new generation?
Of course, with the new generations, we introduced new cultures and new traditions. But I would say for Syria, it's one of the countries that's been maintaining the essence of its traditions for thousands of years.
Which is good.
Absolutely. For example, even here in Kuwait, we've been away from our country for a long time. I still see my mother trying to remind us every now and then. That's how we do it in Syria.
That's good.
We do have new traditions introduced, absolutely. The new generation tends to be quite more practical. Maybe we do not spend the same time like our parents did or grandparents. But I would say the essence of the holy month is still there, and we are still made very well aware of what our parents and grandparents used to do.
Okay.
Are there any customs or traditions that you really miss having in Kuwait that you wish that you have it from Syria?
Absolutely. We will be maybe talking more about the comparison between both countries. Ramadan in Kuwait is also as special as Ramadan in Syria. But maybe I would say what I miss the most is the family time. Not all of our family members are here in Kuwait. So what I miss the most is having the very big family gatherings where you have extended family around the meal. Also, the مسحراتي tradition. It's very nice.
I wish
People
I have
here wake
that
up to
here.
the alarms.
Exactly.
Yes.
That's a good idea.
But in Syria, no, there are no alarms. You would just hear the drum. You would see the مسحراتي just moving around the streets. And the kids would prepare their coins, so that whenever they start hearing the مسحراتي, the kids would run to the streets, give them مسحراتي some coins, and start to mention the names, or to actually take the drum from the مسحراتي and start knocking on the drum themselves.
This is really, the kids get really happy about it.
And sometimes I still remember as a kid, I used to ask my mom to wake me up in case I don't wake up.
Wow.
Just to go and try to participate in this tradition.
This is actually, we would like to see something that in Kuwait. This would be.
Can we do that?
Now the Kuwait مسحراتي.
Exactly. Kids
Let's
will be
run a
really
campaign
happy.
about that on social media.
So let's see, Eman, how is she doing? I think you should have really good layers here.
Yeah,
There's-
colorful layers.
Yeah, exactly.
Only now I have left the apples, and then I'll do the sauce on after we come from the break, and then we will mix it all together. It will be served.
Perfect. So, dear viewers, let's have a break and we'll be back. So please stay tuned.
And we're back, dear viewers. I mixed the sauce already, which is a mix of pesto and the calamenta paste, along with mustard, olive oil, salt, and lemon. Now I'm going to drizzle it over the salad, mix it all together, and then it will be ready to be served. But I like, when mixing it, to wait a little bit until the macaroni and the vegetables to absorb the sauce. So we will do that now. Regarding the Eid, Eman, what do you have preparations in Syria for Eid?
The closer we get to Eid, you start seeing the shops operating for longer hours. People start, of course, it's time when they are trying to focus more on prayers and reading Quran, staying in mosques.
Correct.
But also people, you would see them in the streets preparing for Eid, bringing the new Eid costume, which has to be, we share this also in common with, I think, the majority of the Arab and Muslim countries.
Correct.
It has to be a special new Eid costume.
Correct.
And you start seeing the ladies preparing for the Eid biscuits.
Okay.
معمول العيد.
Ooh.
It has to be made. You start smelling it whenever you're walking across the streets.
So just an oral biscuit, or it has some?
It's the معمول. No, we have
معمول.
special molds to give you the decoration for the معمول.
I have
And
two of those.
Okay.
It can be made out of wood or made out of steel, and people get very creative in making the molds. And mostly we have for the stuffing dates, walnuts, or the pistachio.
Nice.
And when you start walking across the streets and smell the biscuits, that's for me that's the Eid smell.
Yeah.
Whenever you smell it, you know that Eid is coming.
Right. But do you prepare this before the day of Eid or on the same day?
No, it has to be made 1 or 2 nights before Eid because the dough takes time to make, and people wait on it for a time, and then they wake up the next day and they start now putting.
But imagine a mother doing this ma'moul. She wakes up on the day of Eid, and then she finds half of it is eaten by the kids.
It takes maximum 3 hours and it's gone.
Because this is what we used to do.
So what about activities during Eid? What are people do during Eid?
So we wake up really early for the Eid prayers, and that's when you see the kids in the streets laughing and chanting, and then you also hear the mosques also putting the Eid prayer. People go for the Eid prayer. After that, people go and visit. God protect all your loved ones, but people usually go to the cemetery just to pray for the loved ones that they lost. And then after the cemetery, people start visiting their closed family members. Usually the younger people would go and visit the elder ones. It's a sign of respect. For smaller towns where I come from, usually we don't have huge entertainment cities for the kids. So you would see mobile games moving around the streets, and kids would be gathering around this.
That's good.
And in bigger towns like Damascus, of course, people take the kids to the entertainment cities, to the shops, and
they could buy toys for them.
Absolutely,
Yeah,
absolutely.
Very interesting. What about Eman? I want your personal experience in the holy month of Ramadan in Kuwait.
It's a very special month in Kuwait. For me, it's one of the most favorite months. The Kuwaiti touch to Ramadan makes it even more special. I love how Kuwaitis observe it with different traditions. So you prepare ahead of Ramadan with a grish, where people bring different dishes. That's my favorite part. And then even during Ramadan, when you have the ghabga, the Diwaniya culture in Ramadan. Of course, as we mentioned, all cultures gather, but in Kuwait, it's like more organized, more structured. You know that this Diwaniya on the specific day.
People have schedules, actually.
Yeah.
Absolutely, I know that. In our work, we also try to maintain the networking, so we have a whole. And what's interesting is that you publish it in the newspaper to make sure that all people are made aware of that.
Exactly.
And it's a sign of that your society and your culture is. You consider the whole of Kuwait as part of the family. And then, of course, the Girgihan. It's I still celebrate it. It has no limits to the age.
Everybody's.
I still like to receive my special share of Girgihan.
Candies, yeah.
And I love how with the last 10 days of Ramadan, you really focus on the spiritual side. So you would see people having also the schedules for the Qiyam Layl prayers, and you would go to specific mosques with certain, sheikhs.
For the last 10 days also.
Absolutely.
Yes.
This is very.
It's a very special month in Kuwait.
Yeah. So, Eman, what about your favorite dishes in Kuwait? What do you prefer? Let's start from the savory until like the sweets.
My second favorite is the Kuwaiti cuisine, actually.
Okay.
Oh, that's nice.
Who doesn't love the Kuwaiti machboos?
Okay.
Whether it's chicken or meat.
Nice.
You also have the tashrib. I think it's also famous during
It is very common here.
Yes,
during the holy month
yes,
of
it's
Ramadan.
very Murabian,
Correct.
like Zbeidi.
Correct.
So these are my favorite Kuwaiti dishes.
Okay, so what about sweet?
Kuwait, of course, the sab al-gafsha,
Okay,
al-gayman.
nice. So I'm assuming that you know how to cook. I'm assuming.
Yes, I do.
Okay, good.
I do. It's a work in progress. I bet I'm not as good as Eman.
All right.
Thank you.
But working
You
on that.
will try Iman's dish today, and you will find out if she's a good chef.
From
or
the
not.
smell, maybe our viewers cannot smell it, but it smells really delicious.
Okay.
We need that option for the TV.
That would be
Okay.
maybe with the AI.
Yeah.
Like something.
So I'm assuming also Iman is ready and she finished her thing.
Okay, so the salad now is already ready to be eaten. So we will have a break and then we will come back. Dear viewers, we'll have a break. Don't go away.
Entering every house in Kuwait, they always have, each house has its own smell. And that could factor in because they use bukhur, which is a type of perfume that different families use. And it's not only used in Kuwait, but it's used throughout the Gulf region. And it's dated back throughout our history and ingrained in our Arab culture. So follow me along as we go learn more about bukhur. As we've said before, bukhur is an incense used to perfume your house. There are two types of bukhur. You have the normal bukhur and you've got ma'mool. First, we're going to talk about bukhur. Bukhur is the more expensive kind because it's naturally occurring. And it doesn't need any oils or anything to give out a scent when it's burnt on the coals. Whereas ma'mool is manufactured. So they take the wood and soak it in oils to produce that nice smell when put on the coal. And it's much more cheaper than bukhur. Now the correct way of putting bukhur on is lighting up your coal piece and then waiting about 2 minutes until it's fully lit before you put your bukhur on top, or ma'mool, so that you make sure that you don't burn it and it produces that nice scent that you want. The more affordable option is ma'mool, and people use it especially after cooking, and it's used on a daily basis. Thank you for joining us on our tour to learning more about bukhur. Now we can tell the two main types of bukhur, which is bukhur and ma'mool. Hopefully now you can use that knowledge to perfume your household during Ramadan, as it is a great way to give gifts during Ramadan. Thank you so much. Ramadan Kareem.
Welcome back, dear viewers. Now we have prepared the salad and it's now ready to be tested.
This looks really delicious, Eman. We would
you.
like to thank you for preparing this dish. And before we actually try this dish, I would like to find our esteemed guest today. Eman, have you tried or experienced the holy month of Ramadan besides Syria or Kuwait?
As a student, maybe years ago, I'm not going to specify how many years ago, I've been to the United States during the month of Ramadan.
This was really tough.
It's tough because the fasting hours are way longer,
Exactly.
but it was nice because I was sharing this experience with students from all over the Middle East region. So we used to come together and also have some cooking from each and every country. So we managed to create our own Ramadan vibes.
This is one of the advantages when you actually live overseas.
Absolutely, it's challenging.
It's challenging.
It has its nice touch to it, but you definitely do miss someone cooking on your behalf.
Correct.
Definitely, and being around familiar faces and being around familiar cultures. But it was also very interesting. Also, I experienced Ramadan in Saudi Arabia. It's beautiful, of course. Yeah. It has also its own spiritual touch to it. And it's not very much different.
Exactly, yeah.
Okay, since like you have, because you're working in the United Nations for those, like do you do activities for like other parts of the country for the holy month of Ramadan?
So during the month of Ramadan, we try to focus on the special programs that we launch, and we try to remind the people that as UNHCR, we also have special programs that are supported by Zakat Fund. So we are amongst the first United Nations agencies to launch the Zakat Fund, where people can donate their Zakat through our office, and we deliver it 100% to the persons with zero cutting. So whatever you donate will be given to the people in need. We also have projects supported by Sadaqah funds. During Ramadan, we like to remind people, of course, our work entails charity throughout the year. We help those that are mostly in need. But during the month of Ramadan, we try also to engage with our stakeholders and partners in Kuwait, spread more awareness of how difficult this month would be for people who were displaced from their countries.
Yeah, you're right. Especially living outside, like in tents and something.
Absolutely.
I think this is the perfect time for testing Eman's salad.
We've been looking forward.
All right.
Oh, thank you.
So, Eman, I have a question for you. Is this considered salad as a healthy salad?
Apart from the macaroni side as a carb, but yes, it is healthy.
Okay.
Because it contains only like olive oil, no other olives, no other oils are there. And it has beans in it, and so lots of vegetables.
Olives.
Yes.
Okay, that's really good.
Yeah.
Apples.
Yeah, and it has like a pesto, which is basil, so it kind of leaves. You have lots of kind of vegetables here. Like you can eat it also with, like, if your dish for futur is only protein, so you can have this as a side.
What do you think, Eman?
For me, it's a perfect dish. I can have it a standalone dish because, as you mentioned, it has the carbs, it has the vegetables, the savory flavor, and the mixing with the apples, and it's perfect. It's very yummy.
Wow.
I will be finishing my whole plate.
We are glad that
I loved it. And you're a true chef, Eman.
Oh, thank you. I'm so happy.
That is very interesting. So, Eman, unfortunately, we are reaching the end of this episode. So before we end this episode, if you have a last advices to our dear viewers, so please go ahead.
It's been a great pleasure to be with you in this episode. We didn't feel time. Time was flying. It was very interesting to chat. To conclude, I would wish all of our viewers a blessed Ramadan, praying to God that for many happy returns of this month, where they return it in better conditions around their loved ones. And I also ask God to grant us all our wishes and to accept all of our prayers and dua during this month.
Inshallah.
Thank you so much for your time, as well as for the valuable information that you provide for us.
Thank you for you.
No, thank you.
So, dear viewers, we're going to see you in a different episode with a different esteemed guest. Until then, be safe.
Bye-bye.